Hey guys, what's going on? It's Eli back with another review video and continuing on with the Muppets Marathon. Now, gonna be reviewing The Muppets. And that is, of course, the 2011 Muppet film, so, you know. And this was basically the return, the comeback of the Muppets, you know, after quite some time and for them not having a new movie, etc. And you know what? It worked. This movie turned out to be really good and successful. I remember before this came out, I was hyped and excited to see this, and you know what? It didn't disappoint me. I loved it. It has a good story to it. It really does. And with the character, the Muppets, of course, the stars that's in the film, it's fantastic. Just really fantastic. So with the opening of the film, it's really good because it's like a bit of a montage and such. We see two of the main lead characters, Walter and Gary, and like growing up and such in I think it's Small Town. I'm pretty sure that's the name of the place. Yeah. And like Walter being introduced to the Muppets, and he instantly falls in love with the Muppets, becoming a huge fan of them. And yet years later, because they're all grown up, and yet they are about to go to Hollywood and such. Well, basically, him and Mary, Gary and Mary, that is, played by Jason Segel and Amy Adams, and Walter is brought along as well. And yet, what about Mary? She's fine. She's more the merrier. This film even has some really good songs to it. Like, of course, the first one, Life's a Happy Song, that's a good one. They, of course, as they're at Hollywood, they visit the Muppet Studios because there's a tour for the Muppet Studios. Walter sneaks into Kermit's office, and there Tex Richmond, played by Chris Cooper, along with Uncle Deadly and Bobo the Bear, and Statler and Waldorf giving them a tour of Kermit's office, and Tex Richmond planning to tear down Muppet Studios, I guess for oil or something, I forget, but of course Walter freaks out and tells Gary and Amy Adams, Gary and Mary about this. They go and they try and find Kermit. They find his house, and of course they meet Kermit and such. After at one point Walter has Gary throw him, and he hits the electric fence. It's funny. And we even see a new character, 80s Robot, which I think 80s Robot is pretty cool, actually. Performed and voiced by Matt Vogue, if I'm saying his last name right, that is. Excuse me. And Kermit, he has his own song, and the song number, Now They're Only Pictures in My Head, looking at portraits, and the portraits come to life, etc. And so Kermit finally joins in and such. They go find the rest of the Muppets, and after Kermit says, "Didn't you see our first movie? We drive." And they, of course, drive. They first find Fozzie working at performing at a casino, along with, say, the Muppets. It's funny. They, of course, find Gonzo, who's, doing toilets and such. And then, of course, find Animal, perfectly calm and such, and Jack Black in the film as well. In control. They, of course, pick up the rest of the Muppets by using a montage, as 80s Robot says. And throughout the montage, they get the Muppets, etc., from the Electric Mayhem, Honeydew and Beaker, Sam the Eagle, Scooter, Crazy Harry, even Sweetums. We don't even see the Swedish Chef is in the car, but we didn't see his moment there, where they get him. Was he at I assume he could have been in a kitchen or a restaurant, I don't know. But Sweetums, we just like in the first movie, Sweetums chases them down, with a suitcase, because at that car sales place that he was at. And of course, with Ralph, even it happens with Ralph, why didn't you include me in the montage, And of course, Kermit, Gary, Mary, Walter, they're there, and they wake up Ralph, and you want to get back together? Okay. So, they all make her. Oh yeah, even they go get Piggy, because she's at Paris, and we get a cameo of Emily Blunt, right outside of Miss Piggy's office. She's pretty funny in there. Fozzie has an idea. He and a couple others, they disguise themselves as a Muppet Man. Miss Piggy even falls for it, even when she says, "I can't believe I felt for Muppet Man." And then, like, Kermit trying to convince Piggy and talk to her and such, but Miss Piggy ultimately turns it down. And then they get a new Miss Piggy and such, Miss Boogie, if I'm saying that right, part of the Muppets, basically. They try to talk to some executives or studios, to bring them back. And and then they all come down to, I forget her name, but, the CD executive, if I'm saying that right, what's her face? Donald Glover makes a cameo, and at one point, because like Punch Teacher, was canceled, and now the Muppets get a chance to do something. So they return to the Muppet Studios, that is, their old theater, and the really good song that fits in well. We built this city, we built this city of rock and roll. That's a really nice fit to there. And even when Scooter opens a door, I remember, Scooter opens a door and stumbles upon Beauregard. Like, he's been there the whole time, basically. And, like, Scooter says, "Beauregard, Scooter, good to see you. Where's everybody been?" And, like, Scooter kind of looks away and just, like, that's a moment right there. It's funny. And so, what else? Like, even, like, Kermit and the rest of the Muppets, they go and try and convince Tex Richmond to give them back their studio, everything else. And even, like, Tex Richmond, before he gives his answer, he has a little song number, "I'm Tex Richmond, Mr. Texas T. People call me rich because I've got my money, blah, 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 blah." But I remember there's an extended version of that song, actually. Even a moment where, "I recall a heartbreaking story about my own 10th birthday party." You'll have to check, you should have to check it out and see it for yourselves, even if I talk about it, just drag, if you get what I'm saying. And of course, after he sings his song number, the answer is no. And Kermit, he's like, "Well, you could have just said that." And he should have. He could have just said that, and that would have been it. Of course, the Muppets come in. They now, like, partnered up with Richmond. And the Muppets are desperate and trying to find a celebrity. And it all comes down to them, like, Miss Piggy grabs a hold of the Muppets, like Gonzo, New Zealand, the Boomerang Fish, and the Swedish Chef, Fozzie, and Animal to distract Jack Black. So they capture Jack Black. And another great song in this film, okay, I missed out one, and that was Me Party, that Mary and Miss Piggy sing, because not with their man, Mary's not with Gary, Miss Piggy's not with Kermit, and another great song in this, Man or Muppet. That's a fantastic song. It definitely is. With Walter and Gary, deciding if they're a man or Muppet, and it all comes down because Gary is a man, and Walter is clearly a Muppet, pretty much. And yet, what's funny, because, of course, besides Gary's Muppet look, is the Muppet version of him, it's funny, because Walter's man look, is Jim Parsons. It's funny. Even like Walter kind of has a look at her face, so he like looks around just like, what? Why I guess that means, like, I don't know, I think it means like, why is he my human look or man look, that kind of thing. It's funny. It definitely is. I remember like my dad and I, we first saw that in theaters, and he got a good laugh at that when Jim Parsons made an appearance. Because, okay, here's the thing. Because, I love Jim Parsons, and, my family and I, we love Big Bang Theory, so, just... But anyway, so, Gary is reunited with Mary while Walter's still at the Muppet Studios. The Muppet Show is put on TV. It airs with Jack Black. Oh yeah, even like the hobos, that are there watching the show. God, I forget his name, but the one who makes an appearance as well, and he plays a hobo. So, it's funny. He's funny too. And so, they managed to pull on a good show, and with the money and such, like the numbers and such, the phone calls, and we get more appearances, like Selena Gomez, Whoopi Goldberg, Emily Blunt's wife, John, what's his last name? And Judd Hirsch was in there as well. Neil Patrick Harris. Yeah, so. And Tex Richmond trying to stop the Muppet Show, you know, Muppet Telethon happening. Telethon, yeah. And one of my few favorite bits, like, during the show, Muppet Show, the barber shop, you know, Sam, Link, Ralph, and Beaker, and, like, Jack Black, it's funny. And when his head shrinks, it's funny. You know, what did you guys shrink my head? It's funny. And, like, I remember the Camille and the Chickens, they sing a song, you know, Forget You, by CeeLo Green. And then, of course, the Muppets singing Rainbow Connection. And, of course, Walter putting on his own performance, whistling. And yet Gary and Mary had returned. Gary convinces Walter to go out there, etc. Richmond disconnects the telephone pole, you know, the signal, everything else. And Richmond kind of wins, basically. And so they are forced to leave the show, the theater. And yet, when they make their way outside after Kermit gives a speech, all of the Muppets fans are there, you know, and yet Walter tells Kermit, you know, they're your fans, they love you guys. And yet, they all, as they're getting pictures and such, like, Kermit says to Walter, why don't you join us? And, like, Gary encourages him to join them. And thus, Walter is now part of the Muppet family. So, and an edition of Life's a Happy Song. And, oh yeah, almost forgot to mention, because Uncle Deadly being redeemed and such, and that speech he gives to Tex Richmond, and, you know, no, that's a maniacal laugh, you know. It's good. And, yeah, Gary proposes to Mary, you know, and what she says after he asks, you know, mana mana, and we get, of course, mana mana during the credits and the after credits, you know, the epilogue. Tex Richmond, Change of Heart, etc., and some of the celebrities singing mana mana, you know. The Muppets, I love it. It's a really good film, and especially for it being the first Muppet movie after a long time, you know. I think ever since Muppet Treasure Island, I'm pretty sure. I mean, The Muppets Wizard of Oz, for example, that was a TV movie. Okay? They mostly had TV specials, TV movies, etc. So I'm probably correct. The Muppets has been the first Muppet film released theatrically after Muppet Treasure Island. So, you know. So for the Muppets, well, I give it 10 out of 10 stars. I freaking love the Muppets. It's a really good Muppet film along with the others, as I said before. And you guys let me know what you think of the Muppets, because for me, again, I love it and enjoy it. It's really good. So again, 10 out of 10 stars for the Muppets. I hope you guys enjoyed this review video. More new review videos coming your way. They're going to be awesome. Keep looking forward, and I'll see you guys in the next video/review video. And the Muppets Marathon is still continuing. Only 2 more to go. So, you know, you'll see. Take care. Peace out.